how I use Squarespace as one of my main websites to run my online music business. So my main business and brand are two separate things. I have an artist brand, which is Unders, which is youtube.com/unders. And that is a brand that I use to continuously generate business for my actual business, which is Warrior Sound. Now, the website I use is completely built on Squarespace. So you can have a look and break it down as we go through this series. But it's warriorsound.co.uk. You can see what it looks like and some of the front end side of it and how it functions. But the reason I use it for my business comes down to a couple of factors. The number one is simplicity for use. Squarespace is incredibly easy to learn to design. So I have designed a few websites using it at this point, but my Warrior Sound website has been redesigned multiple times over, honed and tweaked to look how it does because it works best the way that it's currently been designed and put together. And it's incredibly easy to do once you know the workflow of how to do that. And we'll break that down in this series. I had no desire to learn how to code or write for a website. I simply needed the product to be built and I maintain control of it. I didn't want to end up having to use a third party and then having them service it every time I needed something changing, doing or adding. I needed full control. And Squarespace offered the best way to do that. In terms of value for money and time saved, it has paid for itself 10 times over. The second reason is how feature rich and customizable it is. You start with fantastic looking templates that help you build out the type of website you initially want to build, but you can completely customize it to make it your own thing. Again, with that easy system that we were looking at before on creating it, I didn't have to learn any coding or rely on a third party. Features like being able to add an e-commerce store and have the payments and everything done via Squarespace has been really useful for me. And having an e-commerce store is able to take services as well is very, very useful. You won't see this page on Warrior Sound, but whenever I work with a client, I create them a product inside an e-commerce store. And in that product outlines everything that we have discussed and worked on what's being created. For example, if I were to create a series of training videos for a piece of software, it would be an outline of how many videos, length of the videos, type of software, when they're to be delivered by, all on an e-commerce page. So as if it was a listing you could go and buy. Then when everything is done, I can simply send this page link over to the client. They can see everything that was covered, everything that was agreed, tick it off, and they can pay directly from that page for me. I'll pop up on the screen now. You can see I do well over £1,000 a month in revenue this way. Third reason is you can host free products and digital downloads and generally digital products. This is really great lead generation and lead magnets. For example, I have a free sample pack, which is able to be downloaded over at Warrior Sound. It's hosted up there, and every time that's downloaded, it generates a new lead for me in terms of email addresses, meaning I can reach out to those people for other services or uses in the future. And this runs on autopilot and just sits on the website. If I wanted to, I could hide it away as well, so it's a separate store and its own landing page just for that product. I choose to just have it in the general store where I also put my music and some other artists I've worked with music up for sale as well, all as part of a digital store that I don't ever have to touch. Someone lands on there and chooses to purchase something, I require zero interaction from myself. Squarespace handles the whole e-commerce side of that for me. So reason number 4 is integration with services. What I mean by this is things like Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, and other trackers and services have a heavy integration inside Squarespace. They even integrate with companies like Printful for automated commerce creation for merch. So I could have a t-shirt design up on the website, somebody could purchase that, the order automatically goes off via Printful, the shirt's created and delivered with no interaction from myself. This is one of the big factors that Shopify really pushes, but it's its main focus. Yet this exists in Squarespace, something that I can fully create a business on, send out service quotes and things on as well, and run a whole business from. It's very, very useful if e-commerce is a small part of your business. And if you're heavily freelancing or service-based, Squarespace is absolutely a way to go in that respect. Now, the other thing this gives you is a fantastic amount of data. So we'll swing straight into reason 5, which is the amount of data and analytics available. As you've already seen the screenshot, I can see revenue and the amount of people going to my website via an app on my phone. I can track data and analytics very heavily. Combine that with Facebook pixel data and Google Analytics data, and you've got an absolute powerhouse. But they're so easy to integrate, they simply require getting a code from each of those sources, adding it into the set place in Squarespace, and then they are fully integrated. So that is a massive reason 5. Reason 6 is the fact that Squarespace has got like a 99% uptime. Even when they haven't, the downtime is very, very minuscule because they can offload everything. If I was to use a WordPress system and then find my own hosting, it's really down to that hosting and the amount I pay for the hosting as to how good it is. Now, there are ones out there that have a 99% uptime, but equally, if there's an issue when they go back up or there's an issue with your WordPress site, you have to go and handle those problems. When you're with Squarespace, they handle it for you, and I've never noticed any downtime on my personal website, which is super, super useful. 7 is built-in cover pages. These really are landing pages, the kind of things you'll find with ConvertKit and ClickFunnels. And you can have as many of these as you want hidden away on private links or visibly landed. You can have it so your web page, when someone goes to it, they automatically land on a landing page as the very first thing, if you so desired. These landing pages come with presets and all look fantastic, but then they're so easy to redesign. Click on the text, edit the text. Click on the button, edit the button, click on media and add your image or your video in the background, and then customize your link. So being able to have custom landing pages is incredibly useful. If you want to see this in action, check out any of my Ozone videos on the YouTube/unders brand. They all backlink at some point to a landing page for Ozone, which is hosted on Warrior Sound. I use this all the time and it helps generate interest in one of my courses. 8 is payments and commission. So Squarespace handles all of the payment side of things. If I put out a freelancing quote and it goes to a client and they choose to pay it, they can pay via PayPal, they can pay via Apple Pay, or they can pay via card. I don't have to worry about being a registered merchant or any of that. It simply goes through Squarespace, they deliver the revenue to me. Even on the most basic of plans, you can still do this, but they take a small percent. Now, if you're doing projects like myself, where some of the payouts may be like £1,000 plus, you'll consider going on a higher platform. So it's either a smaller percent or a 0%. But if you're just starting out and you're just doing the odd like £50 gig here and there, take the small hit on percent, get it to a point where the website's highly profitable for you, and then move up a level. But that's one of the reasons I don't have to worry about being a merchant of any kind. I can simply go on, even via the app, create a new page, send it out to someone I've done work for, and all payment is handled via that. I don't have to worry about taking card payments myself or anything like that. So the payment aspect side of it and commerce side of it, 100% the reason I'm on there.